Hello and welcome to Climate Check with me, Mary Mwikisa. Now today on the program, we focus on Zambia's efforts to restore degraded landscapes, strengthen climate resilience and improve the livelihoods of communities through sustainable natural resource management. Other than that, we will delve into the world of carbon trading as well as understanding what various stakeholders' interests are in this very important money spinning sector. Join me on the other side. Now imagine if trees could provide Wi-Fi, just how many trees you would plant? Well, they provide oxygen. We definitely cannot do without it. Destruction of nature such as forests has led to irreversible climatic changes to our world. Join me as I talk to policy formulators, change makers and climate change interest groups on Climate Check, weekly on this channel. Now you are the solution to climate change. So to start our show, we take you to Southern Sun Hotel, where our staff at Tawanda Nyimbili attended a one-day workshop on carbon trading and Article 6, and the Ministry of Green Economy and Environment presided over this meeting.
In line with Article 6 of the Paris Agreement, a one-day workshop was held in Lusaka to build capacity among local carbon project developers. It brought together stakeholders from government, development partners and the private sector to boost climate action and share knowledge on international carbon markets. Hosted by the Ministry of Green Economy and Environment with support from the SPAR6 program, the workshop focused on Zambia's carbon market framework, including how to submit and manage projects under the new Green Economy and Climate Change Act. Speaking on behalf of Permanent Secretary Dr. Banda, Mr. Ranford Simombwe highlighted the Zambia's progress such as the legal framework and agreement with Sweden, Norway and Singapore.
Last year, we signed 2 bilateral agreements with Sweden and Norway, and a memorandum of understanding with Singapore for Article 6 cooperative approaches under the Paris Agreement. We are now in the process of forging implementation plans and the identification of carbon projects which will participate in the transactions under these agreements. Ladies and gentlemen, the regulatory and institutional advancements have raised the profile of Zambia as a potential and attractive seller of Article 6 aligned emission reductions. This is signaled by the number of negotiations we are engaged in for cooperative approaches. Furthermore, we are pleased at the increasing flow of submissions of mitigation activity, notes, and design documents for consideration of approval to trade carbon by the Technical Committee, the National Designated Authority, the Designated National Authority for Mitigation Actions. Let us continue to work together to reduce global emissions and foster a green growth agenda. It is now my honor and privilege to declare this capacity building workshop for carbon project developers officially open, and I thank you for your kind attention.
The event also allowed developers to engage with ministry and experts, ask questions and understand the approval process for both voluntary and compliance markets. With rising global demand for carbon credits, Zambia is aiming to become a key player in climate finance. Zakaria Nyimbili reporting.
Now imagine if trees could provide Wi-Fi, just how many trees you would plant? Well, they provide oxygen. We definitely cannot do without it. Destruction of nature such as forests has led to irreversible climatic changes to our world. Join me as I talk to policy formulators, change makers, and climate change interest groups on Climate Check, weekly on this channel. Now you are the solution to climate change. Welcome back to Climate Check. Now, on the program today, our main conversation is about transforming landscapes for resilience and development, TRALARD Phase 2 project. And of course, we'll reflect on the achievements of the first phase and what lessons have been picked even as Phase 2 is being implemented. And joining me in studio is the National Coordinator, Mr. John Banda. Thank you so much for agreeing to join us on Climate Check, Mr. Banda.
Thank you very much, Mary.
All right. To begin with, let's first briefly allow you explain what TRALARD project is all about and why it's important for Zambia.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mary. The Transforming Landscapes for Resilience and Development, TRALARD in short, is a Government of Zambia initiative that is anchored in the Ministry of Green Economy and Environment and is supported by the World Bank, as well as other cooperating partners, being the Climate Investment Funds, the Nordic Development Fund, the Global Environment Facility, the Least Developed Countries Fund, as well as the Scaling Climate Action by Lowering Emissions. Mm-hmm. Its focus is basically centered around addressing two major national challenges. The first one being climate change. Mm-hmm. This is a major issue for the country. Okay. If we look at the 2023-2024, we recall how severely the drought affected different sectors. Yes. We had challenges around water security, food security, as well as energy security. And these impacts of climate change continue to increase in terms of frequency as well as intensity. 2025-2026 was a very good season, but 2026-2027 were headed for a super El Nino season. So the impacts of climate change are really being felt. That is one side of the equation. The other side of the equation is that we have challenges again in terms of sustainable utilization of our natural resources. Okay. So when we look at the forest sector, for example, on an annual basis, we're losing close to 170,000 hectares of forests. If we look at some of the sensitive wetlands, they are being encroached. If we look at soil health, for example, it too is being affected. So the TRALARD II project is designed to address these two challenges simultaneously.
Okay. Let's look at Phase 1. How successful was it?
Yes, so Phase 1 was implemented from 2020 to 2025. Okay. It was implemented in 3 provinces, namely Luapula, Northern, and Muchinga, covering 16 districts. Okay. The projects promoted diversified livelihoods, and the project supported a total number of 629 community groups. And these community groups are involved in different enterprises. Some of them are involved in poultry, others in piggery, others in fisheries, and different other livelihood activities. What this does is that it puts less pressure on the natural resources that they are depending on, and they focus on promoting their livelihoods in these enterprises that they are implementing. Okay. Apart from that, the project also had a climate resilient infrastructure component. Under that particular component, we set up a total of 21 bulking centers. Okay. What this does is that they create a center where their produce can be aggregated, and they're able to negotiate for better prices and also access better markets. Okay. The project also rehabilitated a number of crossing points and embankments. This too has improved access to markets. In Lunga, for example, Lunga is located in a wetland. The mode of transport there is water transport. So the project was able to dredge 126 kilometers. So because of that, the communities in Lunga are able to, number one, get inputs to support, for example, their rice production. But apart from that, they're able to take their produce again to markets. The project also supported the Zambia Meteorological Department to install 135 automatic weather stations in all the 116 districts of Zambia, and some of them have been placed near some of the major water bodies. So this infrastructure is now channeling very rich climate information. Again, farmers are able to access this information, and they're able to plan for their activities better. Yeah, apart from that, the project also supported the establishment of 31 community forest management areas. The total area that is under management of communities is over 300,000 hectares, being managed by the communities themselves. The project also supported the Department of National Parks and Wildlife in 2 landscapes, that is the Lavushmanda National Park as well as the Lusenga Plains National Park. So in those 2 parks, the project was able to support, number one, the development of game management plans to guide how these parks are developed. Apart from that, the 2 parks were supported with earth-moving equipment that is being used to maintain the park infrastructure. Housing has been a major challenge for these national parks, so the project was able to set up over 30 housing units for the wildlife officers. The project was also able to support the department with vehicles, communication equipment, and other logistical support. So through all these interventions, even the training of community scouts, so the communities themselves are also participating in the protection of the resources. So those are some of the ways in which the communities have benefited.
Now, it's interesting to listen to you, because this work has from phase 1 was mostly in 3 provinces, but phase 2 seems to have more outreach. Let's understand why the coverage has been extended from the 3 provinces.
Yes, so the impacts of climate change are being felt countrywide. So we need to respond to climate change at scale. So yes, the project has been scaled up from the initial 3 provinces to now 5 provinces. So apart from northern Muchinga and Luapula, the project is now scaling up to Southern Province as well as the Copperbelt. It's being scaled up from the initial 16 districts to now 32 districts. One other reason why the project has been expanded is that when you look at the landscapes, they're actually interconnected. So responding only, for example, to the upper Kafue catchment is not enough without also attending to the lower Kafue sub-basin. So that is why the project has been expanded to, for example, the Copperbelt, in Lavushmanda, in Lufanyama, Mpongwe, Masaiti, and Mufulira, but also the districts also in Southern Province, so that the response actually connects these different landscapes.
So what are the major objectives for phase 2, building on from phase 1? What difference will it be now?
Yes, so the major objective of phase 2 is to enhance livelihood resilience and also to protect natural resource management by ensuring that we promote sustainable land management, by ensuring that we promote climate-smart agriculture practices, by ensuring that we manage our water resources better, by ensuring that those catchment areas not only have plans, but they also have governance structures that will ensure that they are properly protected.
And let's talk about the project beneficiaries, mostly these communities. How important is their participation, and especially women and marginalized groups, the youths, and how are you ensuring that they're part of what is happening?
Yes, so the whole design is actually centered around the communities. So for us, community participation, community involvement is not a mere tick box activity. For us, that is a core principle of the project. So even in the design of the project itself, we made sure that communities were consulted. Even in terms of the implementation of actual activities on the ground, again, the communities themselves would take the lead. Even when we close the project in terms of sustainability, again, we expect the communities themselves to continue running with the project. So that is the whole essence of having communities at the center. Now, in terms of climate change, for example, if there is a drought at household level, it's the women that will walk long distances to fetch water. So for us, women, again, have been placed at the center. They are the main beneficiaries for the project. Young people as well. The project, through its interventions, also intends to create jobs and would want the young people to be the greatest beneficiaries.
Yeah.
We also appreciate that there are a number of our brothers and sisters that are living with disabilities. Again, even in terms of the technologies that the project will be promoting, we've identified technologies that will ensure that even our sisters and brothers that live with disabilities are able to effectively participate in the project.
Now, with mostly projects based in communities, there's always, and this is coming from some of the various projects I've spoken to on this show, where you hear sentiments like, you have same beneficiaries, you obviously you want to empower more people, you would want to help more people, but you find that some people that were in phase 1 would find their way on the list for phase 2. New people they fail to find themselves on the register because you have the same people that keep getting empowered. How are you ensuring that this work is done in such a way that everybody is on board, and those that have benefited also allow others to join?
Yeah, that's a very important question. So the project has adopted what we're calling a whole of community approach, and it has also adopted what we're calling a whole of government approach. So in terms of the whole of community approach, all stakeholders at community level will be involved in the project. So the communities themselves, the non-governmental organizations, the civil society organizations, the chiefs. We've also mapped all the stakeholders that are already operating in these landscapes that we are targeting. And we're exchanging information, we're exchanging our databases so that we're able to ensure that at the end of the day, we're not targeting the same people, but we're targeting new beneficiaries. We've also aligned ourselves to existing government coordination structures. So at district level, we'll be working closely with the local authorities, working through the district planning subcommittees, working through the district development coordinating committee. At provincial level, working with provincial administration, working with the provincial development coordinating committee, as well as the provincial planning subcommittees. So once we align ourselves to these coordination structures, we'll be able to ensure that duplication of efforts is avoided, as well as targeting the same people. So that is the mechanism that we've put in place to deal with that challenge.
And using this platform for this show, and there could be people watching this show that are in your project areas, what word of encouragement would you have for them, especially when it comes to ownership of what is happening?
Yes. So to the stakeholders that are operating in our targeted landscapes, number one, we need to take advantage of this project that government has designed. The total value of the project is $137 million. It's a lot of money, and if we're able to utilize this resource very well, certainly will create a huge impact on the ground. We'll be able to restore the degraded landscapes, and we'll be able to strengthen the resilience of our communities to the effects of climate change. So really, it's about them working with us to ensure that the objectives of the project are met.
And lastly, Mr. Banda, this project is supported by the World Bank and, of course, with other stakeholders. How has this partnership strengthened Zambia's efforts to promote sustainable landscape management and climate resilience?
Yes, we've received tremendous support from the World Bank and other partners. The entire project amount is a grant. We are also receiving different technical support from the World Bank. there are different experts that have been working with us from the design of the project, and they are also working with us even as we initiate the implementation of the project. So we're able to benefit from this pool of global experts. Apart from that, we are also participating in what is called Deliverable Landscapes Academy. Through that particular academy, we're able to learn from what is happening within the region and beyond the region. So all these practices at the end of the day will ensure that the quality of service that the communities receive at the end of the day is of high standard, and it will leave a lasting impact on the ground. But apart from that, cumulatively at national level, we'll be able to also see the impacts in terms of sustainable development.
Right. Thank you so much for joining us on Climate Check and for sharing this very valuable information with the nation.
Thank you for inviting me.
All right. This is Climate Check. I was speaking to the National Coordinator for the Transforming Landscapes for Resilience and Development TRALARD Phase 2 project, and this is Mr. John Banda, just appreciating what the project is all about and its role in climate action and environmental protection. We'll take a short break. Join me on the other side. Now imagine if trees could provide Wi-Fi, just how many trees you would plant? Well, they provide oxygen. We definitely cannot do without it. Destruction of nature such as forests has led to irreversible climatic changes to our world. Join me as I talk to policy formulators, change makers and climate change interest groups on Climate Check, weekly on this channel. Now you are the solution to climate change. We have come to the end of the program for this week. Join me again next time on the same channel at the same time. Thank you so much for your time. Have a good day, and please ensure to play your part in taking care of the environment. My name is Mary Mwekisa. Goodbye.